Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zeng Kong. Homage to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa. Homage to Master Sakya. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata. Sumo Tutan Siddhi Rinpoche, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all disciples present here and over the internet. Our participating VIPs today from the Taiwan government, the Chief Secretary, Mr. Zheng Peifu, and Mrs. Zheng. Internet. Our participating VIPs today from the at the head, and Dr. Zheng Shenlong, and the scholars group of Tribhuda School, the distinguished Professor Wang Jingxian, Professor Wang Li, Professor Mai Yin-Huang, the distinguished Professor Wang Jingxian, Professor Wang Li, Professor Ye Su-wen, and Dr. Yu Jiangcheng, and Medical Dr. Lin Jun'an, and the Worldwide Lotus Charity Society, the President Master Changren, and the President of the Taiwan Area Lotus Light Charity Society, Mr. Li Chunyang, and from the Elite International Marketing and Management President Mr. Yu, and from the Qiping Furniture Store, the President Ms. Huang, and President Mr. Yu,
My university sent classmate 朱金水先生其夫人陈哲霞女士大圆满9次第洗金刚讲义及密宗道
and producers for the Great Perfection Dharma Havaja Exposition and development stages of Tantayana, Master Lian Yue, and the host, Dharma Sister Pei Jun.
中天电视台给你点上金灯节目制作人徐雅琪师姐
Producers for the 给你点上心灯 Dharma Sister Rebecca 徐雅琪
Sister 卢国英中天电视台给你点上金灯节目制作人徐雅琪师姐华山大型文艺
and gratitude to the Huasan Daxing Art Center and auction center for their donation of 100,000 NT dollars for the meals at the temple. Auction center for their donation of 100,000 NT dollars for the meals at the temple.
New Year， 新年快乐！大家恭喜发财。
Wish you all prosperity.
大家午安，大家好。
Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
大家午安，大家好。你好，大家好。今天我们在这里
Today, here, we did the Homa of Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata.
这一尊多宝如来
And this deity,
一般人很少
Prabhuta
比较
Ratna,
少去认识多宝如来，
is
但是
not
我们《阿王经》
quite popular of Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata.
这一尊多宝如来，这位多宝
There is a mention to the Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata
多宝如来，这是《高王经》里面
before Sakyamuni Buddha.
多宝。再来这个
So one of the deity
好像
mentioned,
在瑜伽焰口里面
and also in Siddhigarbha Deliverance Yoga, it was also a mention to the Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata.
那么这一尊多宝如来
And he is rarely found at other places
因为没有人知道他成佛，
when he attained
也
Buddhahood.
没有人
Nobody
请佛注释
knew about it, so nobody requested him
这个多
to
宝
stay in the Saha world, and nobody beseeched him to give Dharma
大家都
teaching
不知道，
because nobody knew.
快的
So
极灭
quickly
注释
knew about it, so nobody requested him
这个多
to
宝
stay in the Saha world, and nobody beseeched him to give. In his vows
如果有
that in the future, if there is a person
华经
expounding
讲
on the Lotus Sutra,
他就会出现。
when the Lotus
释
Sutra
迦牟尼佛
exposition is very
的时候，
wonderful, that he would appear.
妙法莲华经
So Sakyamuni Buddha expounding
讲
on the Lotus Sutra,
他就会出现。
when the Lotus
释
Sutra
迦牟尼佛
exposition is very Goda of Prabhuta Ratna appeared
多宝如来
to the sky,
说释迦牟尼
and from inside the Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata
是
appeared
非常真实的经，
because the discourse on the Lotus Sutra by Sakyamuni Buddha was truly authentic, and the sutra was a genuine sutra.
讲经非常的
So he praised Sakyamuni Buddha
微妙
discourse on the Lotus Sutra as marvelous,
欣喜，
that give joy to the hearers,
最大的利益。
so that the beings
多宝如来
gain the greatest benefits. So Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata praised Sakyamuni Buddha,
挪开了一点，
and at the same time he gives way
请释迦牟
of his seat
进入多
to
宝
Sakyamuni Buddha and invited some greatest benefits. So Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata praised Sakyamuni Buddha can sit together with Prabhuta Ratna,
然后释迦牟尼
as you all know.
就跟所有的弟子
So Sakyamuni Buddha
如来的因缘，
spoke on the
只要大家要记住，
Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata. So from then on, everybody should remember that his name, Prabhudaratna, which means many jewels or abundant wealth. So he is considered to be a deity for enhancements. So all the primary supplicants for Homa today are truly fortunate that you pray silently to Prabhudaratna to bestow whatever treasures you wish for. So all the primary supplicants for Homa today are truly fortunate that you and Prabhudaratna, please shower more jewels, more wealth to you, and he would bestow them to you. So Buddhas for enhancements, for enrichments are very rare. So this is the and he would bestow them to you. So Buddhas for enhancements, for enrichments are or abundant wealth, Tathagata. Typically, talking about wealth and money, everybody likes them, including the countries, families, individuals. All of them love money. So when we recite Om Mani Padme Hum, which is the heart mantra of the Chenrezig, or the four-armed Kuan Yin, the mantra becomes Om Mani coming home. The recitation by the English speakers, Om Mani coming home. Money, please come to my home. Nobody dislikes money. So Prabhudaratna is a Buddha. But he has lots of jewels, so he could bestow wealth and money to sentient beings. So he is a deity for enhancements. There are 4 different kinds of deities. One is for purification. They are mostly white. He could bestow wealth and money to sentient beings. So he is a deity for enhancements. The fortune gods or the wealth deities like the yellow Jamala, red Jamala, green Jamala, white Jamala, black Jamala. Those are the main deities for enhancements. And deities for magnetization, for interpersonal relationships. That's typically red deities like Guru Gule, Buddha Mother, or the ferocious Ragaraja. They are considered to be the red deities. And for subjugation, they're the blue deities, which is the Vajra deities and protectors. They are typically for subjugation, because in our lives all we require is for purification, enhancement, magnetization, and subjugation. So that encompasses all human lives, human life aspects. And the Buddha for enhancements would be Prabhudaratna. And the mudra for Prabhudaratna is very simple. It's like when you are about to join your palms, but slightly separate. But not too great of a distance.
如来没有这种手印。
There's no such mudra.
分开就好，稍微分开放在持于胸前，就是多宝如来的这个手印。那么他的咒语，刚刚有大家也听了。
So just place your hands, the mantra.
达他嘎达呀，这个达他嘎达呀，这就是。
So Tathāgataya. So this is the mantra. And the mudra, just place it in front of your chest. First visualize, and then form the mudra, visualize, and then recite the mantra. And the appearance or the look of Prabhudaratna is the typical Tathāgata's appearance or the look of a Buddha. And his body is golden yellow and wearing a red Dharma robe. So this is very easy to visualize. The look of a Buddha with the golden yellow body and wearing the red robe, and visualize and form the mudra and recite the mantra. Then become the deity yoga or the yogic practice. So Prabhudaratna can bestow abundant wealth upon all of us. Primarily because he had a vow that he would appear if anyone expounds on the Lotus Sutra really well, like Sakyamuni Buddha. So if you can practice Prabhudaratna Dharma, because it is rarely known, and he is enhancement deity. So by practicing Prabhudaratna, whatever treasure you wish for, you would get it, because not many people are praying to him. So that's the benefit. I remember I've said it before. In Montreal, Canada, there was a Catholic church. There was a person there that he didn't pray to God or to Maria or to like my God is like my God. He didn't pray to God or Maria or Jesus, because many people, everybody prayed to them. Many people pray to Jesus. So to the mother or to the son or to God, Jehovah, Jesus, Maria, many people pray to them. But there is someone that very few people would pray to, Joseph, the father of Jesus. Why? Because Jesus' father was a carpenter. And he wasn't Jesus' real father. Maria was Jesus' mother, but she was impregnated by the Spirit. But nowadays, in the view of the science, that's not possible. So Jesus' father was called Joseph.
我们台语叫约束啊，约束，约瑟，还没有人求。这个天主堂的这个。
So nobody prays to Joseph.
能推过天主堂的这个出事，一看没有人求这个耶稣的父亲，他干脆就求耶稣的父亲。
This person realized that nobody prayed to Joseph, so he did. And sure enough, immediately he got great response. Why? Because he was the only one praying to him. So Joseph was really pleased that someone prayed to him. Everybody prays to Maria, my girlfriend, or to my son, Jesus, or to God, Jehovah. But nobody prays to Joseph. As soon as someone prays to him, he immediately bestowed him with great power. People are paralyzed or couldn't walk. And as long as he prays to Joseph, the father of Jesus, and then bless that person, the person could walk down. They came with the walking stick, but when they left, they can walk without walking sticks. So at that church, there were lots of walking sticks hanging there. So that was how responsive it was. So the Vatican thought, this must be problematic. What evil is that?
这红衣主教来查这个人，来调查这个人，为什么这个人的祷告那么灵感，就传到梵蒂冈去。
So, the Vatican sent someone to check on this because they wondered what happened. How could that happen? It turned out because he prayed to Joseph. So now, if you pray to Prabhupada Ratna, then you would be in luck.
谈到钱呢，这个最多祈求钱的就是
Talking about money, the one who prays for money the most is the Yellow Emperor Temple, Lizang Temple. They always talk about money, more money. That money that is that cannot be spent. And we will transmit the Tai Sang Sin Jun. The great Supreme Lord, as I said, the richest one on earth is the mountain god, and all the treasures come from the earth. So the Prabhupada Ratna Pagoda, where is it? I went to Cheongju in Korea. At the temple there, I saw a Prabhupada Ratna stupa that was made by a human being, but the real Prabhupada Ratna Pagoda was underground. When you give marvelous Dharma teaching or discourses on sutras, then the pagoda would rises from the ground to the sky. Huh? Oh, so this is the divine Lord of Tai San. He would be the richest and the richest mountain god. And the 4 heavenly kings are on the halfway up the Mount Meru, and they are also considered to be mountain gods too. So all mountain gods are very rich. Why? Because all the treasures and jewels come from the earth. Gold, diamonds, silver, bronze, copper, all the metals, all the building materials, cars, expensive cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. They all come from the great earth. The metals, the trees, the plastics, all the building materials, they all come from the earth. So when you own land, buildings, expensive cars, real estate properties, they all belong to the earth. And in the ocean, the dragon gods are the richest, and on the earth, the mountain gods are the richest. And of the highest realm, the richest one would be Prabhuta Ratna Tathagata, or the Buddha of many jewels or abundant wealth. So at the Yellow Emperor Temple, the Grandmaster will be talking on the Tai San, Divine Lord. Tai San is the name of a mountain. Where is it? Tai San is in the Santong province in mainland China. So that's considered the eastern mountain, because the mountains divided into 4 areas. So Tai San, Mountain Tai San, or the eastern mountain, is in charge of the yin and yang living beings, and also so the Tai San Xingjun or Dongyu Dadi, the great emperors of the eastern mountain, they are all the same. And they're very unique, and I will talk about them at the Yellow Emperor Leizhang Temple in Taoyuan on February 21st, Sunday, which is the 14th of the first lunar month at 1:30 p.m. 1:30 p.m. in Taoyuan. So if you want to change your luck, then you need to register yourself. That's the ad talking about wealth. Money coming home. This money or wealth is not the focus of spiritual cultivators or the ordained monks and nuns. But in reality, even for spiritual cultivators, if you have no money, how can you have temples? If you have no money, how can you have Fo Guang San temple? If you have no money, how can you have Zong Tai Chan Si? Right? If you have no money, can you have 慈济？
我们生活中的总资产的这慈济的尾款都不到。
The assets of True Buddha School is not even
电视台
as small as the
把它这个有
interest of Tzu Chi Foundation,
生活中的所有的
because it was in the news the assets that Tzu Chi had.
都不到，都没有到达实际的尾数。
But the assets of True Buddha School does not even reach the end number of Tzu Chi's assets.
还有花果山。
In Taiwan, we have the 4 great Buddhist mountains, and the last one was Huagu. So if you have no money, how could you have Huagu San? Every time we drive on the Sizheng Road in the 7th district of Taichung City, there is a chapter of the Huagu Temple. Just that building. So if you pass by there, Sizheng Road, there is the Huagu San of the Taichung district. And guess how much that would be? It would be over hundreds of millions NT dollars, even just for one floor. And then count how many floors they have, and then the land. Just see how big the land is, and how tall the building is. Thinking about other people's money and our own money. It's unavoidable that we feel a little bit blue. The richest man in the world is Bill Gates of America. When he built the place where Microsoft campus now is, I had been there before, and I did say that this is a piece of land that would belong to the richest man of the world. At that time it was just woods, but now it's amazing. And also around it now becomes Microsoft company. And Bill Gates truly is the richest man in the world. And Seattle Lechang Temple is a little bit down toward the lake from Microsoft campus. So the fact that we can attract and deliver so many sentient beings is because of the geometry, the qi, the energy of that piece of land flow toward the Seattle Lechang Temple. At that time I did say that that piece of land over the hill, on top of the hill, belongs to the richest man in the world, or anyone that occupies that piece of land would be the richest man of the world. And many disciples heard that at that time. So, but Grandmaster did recognize that that piece of land would belong to the richest man of the world. or anyone owning that piece of land would be the richest man of the world. But we don't pursue wealth. Many people do pursue wealth. They live in their lives for money. However, what is definition of being rich? It's very difficult to say. You know, in Taiwan, the richest one is Ge Tai Ming, or maybe not necessarily. Cai Jia, the Cai family also has lots of money. Or the Huang family combined would be very rich too, and many other families. Like Fermi. Fermi Wang, please stand up. His family clan in the past in Taipei was also wealthy clan, right? He said, "Oh, thank you, Grandmaster, for your blessing." Very smart. There are many rich people. So what is the difference of being rich between the rich man and the poor man? That's difficult to say sometimes. Say like Ge Tai Ming from Taiwan, if he goes to Philippines or Europe or Greece, and you say, "I'm Ge Tai Ming, Mr. Ge," they don't recognize you.
Never.
Or you go to Africa and you say, "I'm Ge Tai Ming," do they recognize you? No. Or you go to Iceland and you say, "I'm Ge Tai Ming," do they recognize you? Yeah, the Taiwanese may recognize you, but not overseas. Or the richest one in China would be known among the mainland Chinese. But in Taiwan, we don't necessarily know. So do you know who's the richest one in Japan? No. Watakushi wa wakaranai. We don't know. And who is the richest one in the Philippines? No. And who is richest in Mexico? We don't know. Wakaranai. We really don't know. We really don't know. Right? So, what is rich or what is not? Just don't talk about it. So it's enough for you to use. And you have some leftover, some savings, that's good enough. So it's basically, it's enough for you to use, and there's some leftover, then you should be very content. So you shouldn't have too much desires as spiritual cultivations. But people still live for money. So most people do. Almost all people do. We have a joke here. The doctor asks, "So how was the medicine I prescribed earlier? Did it help?" "Yes, wonderful. My uncle thought it was his. and then he took it and left the world, and now I am his heir, and he became really rich.
这里有一个医生的笑话。
He took it and left the world, and now I am. And went to the doctor and said, "Is there any medicine to make her smarter?" And the doctor gave her some medicine, and the lady came back 3 weeks later and said it's useless. And then he increased the doses, and then the lady said, "You know, I feel cheated because your medicine didn't work." And then the doctor said, "Oh, now you're becoming smarter." So what did the doctor want? Money. Someone got appendicitis, but he didn't want to have any surgery. So his family sent him to the doctor. Someone got appendicitis, but he didn't want to have any surgery. If human beings don't have appendices, then how would the doctors earn money to buy luxurious homes, cars, and send his children overseas? So you need money to go see doctors. So please let me tell you, luxurious homes, cars, and send his children overseas. So you need money to go see doctors. Members of the Nanhan, South Korea, they would from Thailand, the monks from Thailand, you can buy little ghost. They use oil, and they use the aborted babies or miscarriage little babies, and they would soak them in oils, and they use some kind of spells to get the spirits of that baby spirits. So like miscarriage little babies, and they would soak them in oils, and then they soak them in oils. Those are actually little ghosts. Or they place some teeth or bone powdered bones, or the powdered bones of the holy people, and they sell those stuff in Thailand. And what are they for? For protection, and they can also help you make money. So if you keep the little ghosts, then you would make a lot of money. So have you heard of that? Money. So if you keep the little ghosts, so that is like nurturing, like keeping little ghosts. So of course it is effective. However, you would be filled with the energies of the ghost. Then you make offerings to the ghost. So of course it is effective. However, you would be filled. It has no advantages to spiritual cultivation, and moreover it would harm you, because you would be reborn onto the realms of the ghost, because you make vows or you make promises to the ghost. So mutual agreement between you and the ghost. You make offering to the ghost and the ghost help you, so that what you want would be fulfilled. Like, I want to buy that house, and you tell the little ghost, please, I want to buy that house. And there were people living there, and the little ghosts would bother them every day, every night, and would press on them during their sleeps, so they get sick or they get really bothered and upset. People living there, and the little ghosts would bother them. Why don't you move? And then of course they sell to that person who raised the little ghost. So they would have such power. So if you have a business, that little ghost would drag you in. So even when you don't have anything to buy, all of a sudden you just turn and get into the shop, although you don't want to buy those, but without realizing, without really conscious of it, you buy that, and then you got home and said, "Oh, why did I buy that?" So that's because you were influenced by the ghost. So that's how you can earn money, by raising or keeping little ghosts. So you communicate with those ghosts, and of course it's quite responsive. Ghost. So that's how you can earn money, by raising or keeping little ghosts. So you There's an announcement by the True Buddha Foundation that smoke offerings should only be done at your own home for your karmic creditors, those that you owe from the past lives, so that to make them happy and they would help you. What is this? So it's the same as making offerings to the ghost and your karmic creditors, those that you owe from the past lives, so that to make them happy and they would help you. Is there to protect and support you, because you recite Om Mani Padme Hum. So she would protect you, set the boundary, and you would not be bothered, because the main deity is Chandrasik. So smoke offering was transmitted through the Tibetan Tantrayana. And I have the practice procedure, the sadhana, that was transmitted by Dutan Nima, Dutan Tali, and Dutan Torji to Dutan Chimo, which is me. So the smoke offering practice procedure is at home. Did I give it to you? Yes. Now it's at Master Lien Ning's, the practice procedure. So the smoke offering practice procedure, the lineage gurus, and the deity is the Chandrasik, the four-armed Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, which is the key deity for smoke offering. So Dutan Nima was the one that compiled the Dazangjin, the Tripitaka during the Emperor Qianlong of Ming Dynasty. So now I transmit it to Master Lianing. So this is a lineage. And how about the practice procedure for Kalachakra? It's also at you? Yes, it's also with him. So please let me tell you that this really important smoke offering Dharma that Grandmaster transmitted was with him. So please let me tell you that this really important smoke offering, so whether at chapters or temples, practicing the smoke offering together is fine, is allowed, although True Buddha Foundation announced it's not allowed. I found that, but if you perform the group practice at the temple or chapters, although True Buddha Foundation announced it's not allowed, I found that creditors are not just the solitary and foreign ghosts, then it's fine. Because you repay the debts of your past lives to all your karmic creditors. So when you repay all your debts, then you increase your own luminosity, and you would increase your own merits and good fortunes, then you would gain wealth. Because karmic creditors are obstructing you, and when the obstructions disappear, that's the same as you're being helped. So smoke offering Dharma is very important, primarily for your own karmic creditors. But you don't want to make offerings to the foreign ghosts at cemeteries. Because of course you make offerings to this foreign or unrelated ghosts, and you would receive great responses, because all the ghosts would come and follow you, and because it's no boundaries, which means that everyone can come. And that can only be done by Mahasiddha, the one with great attainment. That you make the offerings to all the ghosts with no boundary. So, with no boundary. But look, Grandmaster, in performing the Homa, fire offering ceremony, still has to set the boundary. But is there any practitioners that would do that with no boundary? Almost none. So in Taoism too. So it's done by all the masters of the temple to perform together. So when you take the smoke offering urn to the cemetery, of course you would gain response, and strong response even. Some disciples told me that when I burned it at the cemetery, it's really strong response. That means you're connected with the ghost, and of course the response is quick and strong. And there may be lights in the photos that you take, but the lights are muddled and fuzzy. Those are the lights of the ghost. So if you burn it at the cemeteries, that's the Dharma to offer to the ghost, that in the future, when you're reincarnated, you will become a ghost. Because the ghosts will always follow you. They always want your offerings, and you need to offer to the ghost, and then the ghost would help you. And then you offer, and then you help, and then in the future you would be eaten by the ghost. So when you perform smoke offerings at the ceremonies, you will definitely bring the ghost home with you. And of course you would receive responses, would make you feel so sweet. And then they becoming more and more greedy, they got bigger and bigger appetites, and then you would be eaten up by the ghost. So if you make the offerings properly, then you would benefit from it, but if not, then you would definitely suffer. Calamities. 东港 or 高雄
屏东啊，属屏东啊，哇好，高雄是我老乡，
高雄 or 屏东。So Kaohsiung is my homeland, and Pingtung is my second homeland. I went to Donggang, Wenwu Wang Miao, which is a temple of the both peaceful and wrathful deities. So in order to make other offering ceremonies in the Taoism, the whole Donggang area had to be on the vegetarian meals for 3 days. So that's for the grand offering ceremony for the numerous people. It's the dragon boat. So all the precious items placed on the boats for the ghosts of the ocean. So like the universal offering, we need lots of masters, all the masters, to do it together, to recite the sutras, in order to be able to perform this broad or universal offering. It's not to be done by typical people. Not just a typical person can send off the dragon boat offering. It's called the burning of the king god boat, king boat. It's not to be done haphazardly. It has to be done with the proper procedure by many people, many masters together. And I'm familiar with 2 people. When I was 27, I performed surveying, land surveying. I was in charge of Muzha district of Taipei. So during the development plan, so I live in the temple there in Muzha, Jiyin temple. And I made offering to 2 gods. One is Zhang Xun, one is Xu Yuan. Xu Yuan is Bao Yi Da Fu, and I stayed there for 2 months in order to perform the service on the Muzha district. 什么东西被偷? And because something from the temple was stolen, or the donation box, so the temple called the medium, and that was dancing, and Zhang Xun and Xu Yuan came out and told someone stayed at the temple called Sengyan Lu. You go find him. The medium said, go find him, and then he would be able to help find the donation box. So Zhang Xun and Xu Yuan asked me to find the donation box. So I consulted and found that the person who stole the donation box, on what day, what time, he would come back to the temple and return the donation box. And surely enough, they caught the thief on that predicted time and date. So was it responsive? Yes. So Grandmaster knows Zhang Xun and Xu Yuan, these two holy people. Because I stayed at the temple for 2 months, because I did the survey of the whole land. Like a couple of mountains that look like bras, and around them I did all the survey, and then at night I would sleep at the temple at the Muza district. When I was 27, I did write this in the book, but not about catching the thief. It's not on the internet, but check the books, because I did help Zhang Xun and Xu Yuan. Zhang Xun obtained a high official position, and Xu Yuan was a mayor of a town, Suichen. Zhang Xun, during the Tang Dynasty, the turmoil, Zhang Xun instead helped Xu Yuan to take control of the Suiyang town, city, Suiyang. So Zhang Xun and Xu Yuan are very loyal and upright, and stayed until the whole city was devastated, that all the people died, because the two of them were very loyal and upright. So they were recognized to be gods. So Bao Yu, Zhang Xun was Bao Yu. So who are most familiar with Zhang Xun and Xu Yuan? That's me. Because I stayed there for 2 months, and I made offerings to Zhang Xun and Xu Yuan for 2 months. So when I give blessings on their heads and they shine lights, and Zhang Xun and Xu Yuan actually revered me as the guru. So this is all truthful.
羊
So
是可以赚钱，
by keeping little goats, you can earn money.
最终你还会落到鬼趣里面去，
Eventually, you would fall into the ghosts of the realms.
轮回到鬼道。你今天如果是说你供养神，
So
到神道，
today, if you make offerings to the gods, then you would go to the realm of the
你
gods.
供养仙，你会到仙道；
If you make offerings to the sages, then you would go to the realm of the
你供
sages.
养菩萨，会到菩萨道；
If you make offerings to the bodhisattvas, you would go to the
你
bodhisattvas
供养
realm.
佛，你会到佛
If
道
you。make offering to the Buddhas, then you would go to the realms of the Buddhas.
供养师尊会到师尊道，
If you make offerings to Grandmaster, then we would go to the realm of Grandmaster.
那师尊是这个他的传承法流是从阿弥陀佛那里来，毗卢遮那
And
阿弥陀佛
the lineage Dharma flow comes from Vairocana Buddha, Amitabha,
上师，
and
你就会回到
Padma Kumara, and Living Buddha Lien Xiong, Tseng Yen Lu. So if you make offerings to Grandmaster Lu, then you would return and you would go to the realm of Vairocana Buddha.
啊，让大家稍微了解一下世俗
So
我
that
们这个人间
to let you know
这些鬼神跟
about
鬼神仙
the
菩萨
society
这几个道
that from the ghost
是
and then
大家
gods
明白了。
and bodhisattvas,
那么
gods.
你如果要共修烟供，在市
So
场
if you want to perform smoke offerings together with other people
也是
at
可
the
以。
temples or chapters, that would be fine.